Welcome to NinonSpeaks. I'm Ninon de Rosa, and of course, right next to me is AJ, my producer, amazing, and my co-host. And below we have our wonderful looking guests that are already, I love how you all look. And I see we got Southwest AG Artist Group. So this sounds rather interesting. I'm going to take it over to you, AJ, to introduce our lovely guests.
Thank you so much, Ninon. We have such a wonderful couple tonight, Darrell Clulow and Andrea Hack from the Southwest Artist Group, and they're going to talk about their wonderful clients and all the great things that they do with positive messages and promotion, and it's just really a wonderful show. So let's welcome, hello, Darrell and Andrea. Lovely to see you.
Hi, hi, Ninon.
Great to see you. Great to meet both of you. To see you in person. Now, Southwest Artist Group, I'm thinking Southwest, I'm thinking of flying, Southwest Airlines. So, so are you both flying with your
Not
group?
Not flying at all, no. The Southwest part of it came from primarily me growing up in the Southwest, grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. I was born in
lovely.
Yeah, and we wanted something that just represented us as a whole. I've lived all over the United States for different jobs and my career, and I always come back to the Southwest. So this is the second time living in Las Vegas. Miss Phoenix quite a bit. Lots of our friends are down there. So
what do you think of Vegas? How long have you been here?
So I've been here twice. I was here 5 years from 2002 to 2007 and moved back here at the end of 2012. I like it. It's definitely different. I love the weather. Like I said, I've lived everywhere except for the Pacific Northwest and the far Northeast. I haven't lived, but Nebraska, Michigan, Florida, New Jersey, Arizona, California, Vegas twice. And I just keep coming back here.
Yeah, Las Vegas is the place that attached you and your body together. And Andrea, you obviously, are you an item together? You don't both have the last name, but
we are, yes.
You are. I figured that. And what do exactly, all groups, artist groups, they specialize in something. What is your specialty?
We're artist management. So we handle our different clients and our talent, the business side of their careers. We help guide them. We give them suggestions, recommendations. On occasion, we will work through the process of booking them into different shows, different events. We're not booking agents, but sometimes we will work with other agents to get them different gigs.
Now, did I not have dinner with you?
Yes, we did. At Paris, at Gordon
I'm
Ramsay.
suddenly looking at both of you and thinking, hang on a second.
at Paris, in Las Vegas, at Gordon Ramsay Steak.
Absolutely.
I have a great question that it's going to be really wonderful. Can you share it with us and the audience, the clients that you represent, what they're up to, their projects, what they're doing, and a little bit about them so that we can get their name out there and more publicity for them, please?
Sure. You want to start?
Yeah. So one of our first clients was Michelle Jones with Bioelectric, who you guys know.
Oh, Michelle, yeah, good friend of mine.
Yeah, she's amazing. They're doing all kinds of things. She just finished wrapping up Spooky Empire. She was there for the whole weekend in Orlando, just getting her name out there and seeing lots of people and mingling. They do have their holiday show coming up. I believe it's the 11th
of December
at Lake Eola
in Orlando, Florida.
So
yes,
anybody can go to that's in that area. Then they definitely should. It's an amazing show. They've got their new instruments that they'll be using and showcasing. And,
yes, ask Michelle about it because they got a great, somewhat of a sponsorship with a violin and string instrument manufacturer from Europe, and they got them in, and gorgeous gloss white, and they've been able to put the LED technology onto them, and they're amazing. So
now, when you talk about the LED, you're talking about the colors. You're talking about the flashing of the colors that are so, because most people don't understand what that is.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. What Darrell's talking about is that they've invented, her husband, actually, Jerry, invented this idea, and I get it's run through a battery, and they change lights. And I had them on my show a couple of times. And these violins, which are absolutely gorgeous. I haven't seen the new ones yet, though, but the particular violins, they come on with all these different lights and all these different colors. And it's just something you don't imagine coming out of a violin. You expect, the playing.
And they're all programmed, and Jerry runs them, and they're all programmed to the different songs and stuff. So it's definitely a unique technology that no one else has.
No, it's very, very unique. It's absolutely beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that's
absolutely.
And she's quite a character. I must say that she is absolutely amazing, this woman. You put her on stage and she starts playing and she starts running everything and getting everybody organized and all. Talented woman.
She doesn't even need a stage, girl. Just give her violin and let her
just
go.
give her a violin and she'll play anywhere. She'll pick up a song and off she goes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's one client. So
so one of our other clients that we've had for a little over a year, her name is Tracy Austin. She is a television and radio host. She's also a book author, and her background is UFOs and paranormal. And she's had a television show. She's British. She's had a television show in England and in Los Angeles. And right now she's got a radio show on KGRA, which is a internet-based radio station. And her show's on Sunday nights at 7:00 Pacific time. And she takes on all kinds of different topics, not only the UFOs and paranormal, but just about anything that anybody wants to talk about. She's had.
What does she do? What does she do with UFOs? What does she get that nobody else seems to get anything out of? Everybody sees these different things, and they're like magic. They kind of disappear, and also the conversation disappears. Everything kind of disappears. And you never ever get an answer of what you've just seen. There's this strange thing floating around.
Yeah.
And it's like vanishes, like it comes in and then it disappears. It's quite, what does she find out about that? That's unusual.
That's what they want you to, they don't want to be seen. They just.
That's right.
They want to just.
Come in and then disappear.
She's had a number of experiences herself. She talks about that in a couple of her books, but she's basically the host of the TV and the radio shows, and just talks to everybody and anybody about, again, not only UFOs but paranormal, near-death experiences, afterlife, just all kinds of topics.
I've got to talk to her because Hal Roach, I don't know if you know who Hal Roach was. Hal Roach was, the Little Rascals and all that. He had a death experience. He actually told us that he had a death experience. He was they had given him this gas for whatever reason, something to put him out for something. And apparently he was laying there and he felt himself raising off the bed and absolutely floating. And he had this experience of being sort of, I'm going to say heaven. He was in heaven floating around up there, and he did not want to return. He loved it up there.
Okay.
And obviously he returned to life, but so he had one of those death experiences.
Yeah, her latest book talks all about that. It just came out last year, so she's kind of promoting that right now. But it's a whole book all about near-death experiences.
And how do you as a company, how do you promote something like that? Because this woman is quite different of what she has and where she's, I was going to say floating off to, but that would be no pun intended. But how do you promote something like that? How do you get yourself or get her out there for that?
Yeah. Well, I think when it comes to Tracy specifically, as the business managers, we're working on getting her. We recently had her here in Las Vegas at the MUFON Symposium, which is the big UFO convention. She was there talking to fans, signing books. We're working on a television show for her radio show every week. It just gets her out there. So we help promote through social media, but she's a promotion machine herself, and so she gets out and does all that. Yeah.
Awesome, because that's an unusual client to have, and sort of not everybody would take that on because not everybody would know how to take it on.
Well, and we didn't at first. We told her because she wanted to go the TV route, just right off the bat, and we're like, we know nothing about the television industry. We haven't dealt with that. I mean, his background is primarily music, and I plan events, so we're like, we'll go on this journey with you for sure and learn ourselves, and that's what we've done. And we're making great strides.
So it's been a learning experience for you as well of knowing how this all works and which is it doesn't make it work. It makes it a little bit more exciting as to doing something and learning something. I would think it'd be fascinating.
It does. It is.
It is, and our list of clients they're all over the place. When we decided to start the business, start Southwest Artist Group back in 2019, was it 2019 or 2018? 19, yeah. COVID, 2020 doesn't
threw us
exist.
all off.
There's a giant void in the time-space continuum.
With all of us.
When we started to do it, we sat down and talked about, we wanted to start a business and what did we want to do? And because of my 40 plus years in the music business, we decided, well, the one thing that I've never done professionally, but every band I've ever worked with, I've given advice, and it was free advice, just to help them move to the next level. And so I said, well, what about we do a management company and actually help these bands focus and get their careers on the right path and elevate them.
Absolutely.
And get paid to do it finally. And so we're like, okay. And so we were able to get a couple bands right off the bat. And then all of a sudden, these other different acts or different, talent.
Companies and talent,
like Tracy. And we've got a children's book author, Karen Luther, out of California. Those four right there were those three right there were like one of our first ones. And then through a band that we were managing at the time, we went down to Phoenix and were working with them on a show down there. And the band that was opening for them actually reached out to us and said, we hear you guys are great and we'd love for you guys to manage us. So now the Earps out of Phoenix, they're a cowpunk band. We're managing them. So Bioelectric and Michelle and the Earps are now, out of 6 clients, are our only music acts. And
that's funny.
We've had to learn TV for Tracy. Michelle, she's got her show.
Yes, her show's going. But Andrea, you actually doing events. So this helps tremendously to put the event together and to know where to put the event, to know the particular room you want to put a band in, or where you want to help somebody. You know where all that fits, because you can sometimes be in a very large room, which is great for that particular band, but then you want to be in a smaller room for another band because you don't want to look as if it's empty.
Right.
So you have to balance that out. How do you balance that out? I mean, because you don't know how many people are going to arrive, but it's better to have it over full than under full.
We haven't technically put together anything like that. We've just looked at venues and had, they tell us where they want to book. So the bands that we've had, like the Earps, they already know where they've played and they're like, we want to play here. We have yet to do anything.
I have a wonderful question that I wanted to ask. I read your bio and I went to your website, and what I love about Southwest Artist Group is your message is one that is so positive and it resonates with today. It's about uplifting people and helping them in such good ways with good energy. Can you tell us what sets you apart from other artist agencies and groups? It's very special. Please go ahead, Darrell.
Probably the fact that I've been in this business for 40 years and haven't been a manager. It hasn't tainted me. There are some fantastic managers out there, and there are some that have great outlooks and great personalities, and then there are some that are the devil, but they're highly successful.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the way that they do things. And just over my career, everybody that I've ever talked to, they're always like, man, you're just so positive, you're uplifting, we love working with you. You don't fly off the handle, you don't yell at people, you know, you get the job done, and you get it done well. And that was just part of our conversation when we started the business. Is we're not looking to reinvent the wheel, but we definitely want to have that part of us get interjected into the business, you know, and I think that's why a lot of our clients have come to us, is because they've heard that and they know we have their best interest at heart. And we tell them right out the gate, if you know, we're not here to get rich off you guys. If we can't help you make money, we don't make money.
Now, talking of money, do you actually manage any of their financial status, or because a lot of the people in the entertainment business really are not into money management. They don't quite know how to manage their money, and that becomes a big problem because they have a manager, and a lot of times that money gets stolen or taken or used in places.
Sure. Do you do that? Yeah. So as far as the level that all of our clients are at, not just yet. There are like 3 different types of management. There's the personal manager, which is more what we are. There's the business manager, where we're it's like a 50-50. And then there's the financial, the managers that we're not. 2020 really kind of messed up our plans.
Messed up everybody.
2019 with big plans for Bioelectric and for Tracy and for the herbs. And then for an entire year, for nobody to be able to go outside or be next to somebody else. Those are live entertainers. And Tracy has done, besides her radio and TV, she's also done a lot of guest speaking at conventions and things like that. She couldn't even do that. So, you know, that it derailed our getting the business up and going, while at the same time, it helped us focus on our business side of the business and get all of our ducks in a row. And then we started getting the clients and get the contracts done. And now with 21 being almost over, but 2020 kind of, spilled into 2021 and made it difficult for a lot of these acts to get booked. But right now we're booking a lot of gigs and events for Michelle and Bioelectric towards the end of this year and into 2022. Same thing with the herbs; they're coming along very nicely.
What is the most fun that you have with your clients? What's the most fun, the highlight that you enjoy the most out of representing them?
I think just getting to know them as people and not entertainers. Because as an entertainer, you have one persona, right? And then when you're in your personal life, it's sometimes very different. And I think all of our clients are just the same. They don't put on airs, they're real. And I love that. I love knowing who they are and knowing who we represent, because we love them. They're not only our clients, but our friends as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's what they want, though. I think they want that kind of inside look of who they are, because when you know somebody personally, you know them a little bit sort of more of where you could fit them in and how you can help them, and the honesty part about it, because I think the whole entertainment business, more than anything, everybody knows that this dishonesty that floats around this arena, which is always very sad. So when they get a company like, Southwest Artist Group that comes in and says, well, we want to get to know you and we want to know who you are and where you want to go, how far do you want to go, radio, television, what you want. And you have the ability, both of you, between the two of you, to answer all those questions. And they're hard questions, because you as the artist, you sort of, and I'm an artist, I mean, I know what this is, and it's very difficult. As AJ knows, I say, AJ, be careful of that person. AJ, watch out. And she's like, but Ninon, they're people. I said, yeah, but you still got to watch out. And that's the problem.
It's true.
You gotta find your level. You gotta find that honesty in there. How do you get to a balance of how much to charge them? Is it a 20%, a 10%, a 5%? How do you get to that?
It is a percentage, and it kind of goes back to what I said a few minutes ago, where unless we can help them make money, we don't make any money.
No.
So, that's when like Bioelectric does a show, depending on how it came about, depends on how our percentage is.
Yeah.
So if let's say an end user comes to us and says, we would love to, we saw these guys someplace and we would love to have them for a concert. They're doing in February, they're doing a full-blown concert in Palm Coast in Florida. And because that was the end user and there was no agent involved in the middle of it, we'll say that's a retail gig. It's a full percentage
Yes.
of what.
So it depends on where it comes from. If there's a middle person, an outside person, or somebody else,
Exactly.
or even the client themselves, when they find that thing and they say, well, I want you to jump in and help with this, though it's their client or they know that they're doing it. What sort of clients are you looking for now? What are you looking for out there that we can get the word out for you with this interview, so people know that they can come to you and say, wow, that's just who I want.
Right now, none.
but what? So
we have 6 clients now. We had decided mid 2021 that we were going to stay at four clients, because we do have full-time jobs that do take up a lot of our time. This is the goal for this, is for it to be our full-time job.
Well, yes, I remember we talked about that, and I remember this is what you both want. This is both what you're striving for.
Right.
Andrea, what about you? Are you? What do you do as a job out there?
I work for an event company, or a casino, basically, an entertainment company, doing events and auditing. I do a lot of auditing, so I look at a lot of paperwork and make sure numbers are good.
That's good. That's good for your business.
Yeah, I love finding issues. So I feel like that helps in every aspect of life. If you can like do some research and really get into things, it's helpful with any job.
You know something, out of this interview, what I'm getting out of it is that I'm looking at 2 people that have come together, and it's not only falling in love and having all this beautiful romance and all that other stuff. It's also, I was married 29 years, so I kind of know what it is to be married, but also to fall in and be able to work together and be together and enjoy it together, and wanting to sort of get rid of both your jobs and do this one particular thing that you've brought together yourselves, and building this up together and respecting each other. How, I shouldn't probably ask this question, but I will. How do you manage to work together? Because you both look very happy. And then when I met you, were definitely happy. So how's it working?
We are. I mean,
Yeah.
We're very happy. We don't argue. I think communication is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
If you can't talk about something, that's your first issue. That's your problem. And we don't have that problem. We talk about everything. If we disagree on something, we'll both say why. This is
your opinion on something. It's not a disagreement. It's not I've always said this. It's not really arguments out there. It's just having your own opinion about something. So I think that we should go left, and you think we should go right. So let's go straight down the middle.
Straight up the middle.
Let's put it through together, go down the middle and enjoy it. And I know a lot of married people that actually do that. And I think it's wonderful, because I mean, my husband lived at home 24 hours a day. So we were together 24 hours a day for 29 years. That's a long time. And we had a good time, and we got on together and we did things, but it was a matter of his opinion, my opinion, and going down the middle. And you seem to have found that.
Yeah, and that's part of our philosophy with all of our artists too. I mean, we made every time somebody would reach out, because of 2020 and COVID, with the exception of Michelle, who we were friends with prior to actually being our manager. We would have to do a Zoom interview basically, and they would interview us and we would interview them. And at the end of the interview, we're like, well, look, we don't want you to say yes now, and we're not going to say yes. You go away, take a couple of days to think about it. We'll think about it, and then we'll come back and make the decision up to whether we can do anything for you. Yeah. And so the ones that we have selected, we do that same type of thing that we do. if we see something that they've done that just doesn't jive right, we'll talk to them and we'll, why did you do that? Well, I thought about this. Okay, well, here's the implications of what might come about of that. Or great job, let's do that again. You know, so communication is hugely
and
vital.
it's funny because I'll tell you what you're doing. What you're doing is what you have. What you two have, you're folding into your clients of what the clients you want.
Right.
And so that everything's compatible. So you don't have any problems with this one bickering and that one bickering. So if you've got your same, because I know Jerry and Michelle very well, and they get on so well together. They're actually like you two. They're always together. They're a fabulous couple. And I think you surround yourself and you're going to have clients like that. I think that would be great. What do you think, AJ?
Yes, I do. I agree with you, Ninon. And I love the symmetry and the synergy that Darrell and Andrea have. I think that's outstanding with Southwest Artist Group. And I have one more question. For young people out there that are listening to this program that aspire to do exactly what you do you have any advice for them or where they could get started? What would you suggest that where they start?
The fact that, well, actually, Andrea is a little bit higher in education than I am. She actually has taken some classes out there. My extent of higher education, if you're going to count it, is doing lights for bands at frat parties at ASU when I was younger. But other than that, I just hit the ground running, and I did lighting for bands. I did touring. It's total street smarts. Nowadays, and 40 years ago, they didn't have the classes like, there's Full Sail, and UNLV has some great classes over there for production and business management. And I kind of just learned as I went along. And so I would definitely say education is key, but probably the most important piece is getting out there and meeting people that are in the business that you have the interest in. Pick their brains. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. It will come back full circle, and it will do very well for them.
Absolutely. And I think, and you're absolutely right. I think with the younger generation, they've got all the time in the world. Just get out there. And if you've got to pick stuff up, or you've got to do this, or as long as you're on the job and you meet all the people that are doing the job you want to eventually get up to do, put yourself in the environment you want to be in, and also mix with the people you want to be with. Mix with all the people and I think that if you do that, for all our audience out there, for especially the younger generation, which of course we love, if just whatever you want to be a hairdresser, go and sort of be an assistant or do something like that. But be where you want to be and what you want to do. And I think, because I wouldn't waste time in another, if you've got to do a waitress job to pay the rent, sometimes you've got to do that. But do that as little as possible. Try to get into the job that you want to be and do what you want to do and what you want to build yourself up to. How can people reach you?
So our website is swartistgroup.com. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can find us all of those places. If I got a second, I need to at least mention other clients, because if not, they'll we'll only have 4 again. So we just want to mention Euclid Paranormal Investigation. We were friends with them first, and they actually invited us on an investigation of a private residence here in town. And we had so much fun doing that they reached out to us and wanted us to take them on, because they have, again, some interest in television stuff. But they're a family of paranormal investigators, and they're just super sweet and super fun. They've done some amazing things. They've investigated the Birdcage Theater down in Tombstone, Arizona. Just the other night, over the weekend, they investigated a very high level place here on the Las Vegas Strip. Can't mention it just yet, but
sorry to interrupt. You have about a minute left, Darrell.
Okay. And then we also have the Lunas, who are out of Orlando as well. They're actually friends with Michelle and Jerry too. They have a podcast called Sex Positive Me, and they do public speaking. They've been on cruises where they just talk about sexuality and being yourself, and it's okay to be who you are, and you don't have to be anybody else.
But with a very positive.
Very, very uplifting.
And is that it? We've got one more. And we got
Well,
them.
that was it.
That's it. Just a
That's it. We got them all. So we got them all in. That's amazing. Thank you, AJ.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get everybody in and everybody's sort of counted for. But thank you both for coming on. You've been amazing guests. A lot of information out there. And obviously this goes worldwide, and also we're on Roku, which is absolutely amazing. And I want to thank our audience out there for watching, because you are the ones that, put us out there and everything else.